guys, I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny and here we are all about like knitting, crochet, books, just I suppose little bits of life in general. And today I'm going to be introducing you basically to a year-long project. So if you caught my last video, which was just kind of like a little cozy catch-up, where I sat down talking about projects that I have on my needles and my hooks, I mentioned that I had started doing a book blanket, and essentially what that is for every book that I read this year I'm going to create a granny square using the colours that are on the cover of that book. So that is what this video is basically about. I thought I would sort of like just sit down and do like a quarterly kind of catch up, show you the books that I've read and the squares that I have completed to go with those books. It's not a very big list. I've only read 4 books, or finished reading 4 books. No, 5 books, sorry. I've read 5 books in the last 3 months, and I have 4 squares completed, so I thought this video I would sit and do one of those squares with you. But I thought I'd just kind of like run through the squares that I have done or completed. So I've got them here on my little granny square board. So let's kind of like dive in and I'll show you what I have. So I'll start off with the first book that I completed or finished and the first square. So, and I'll put the picture of the book on screen and then the completed granny square. So this one here, this is for the book Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. It is the last book in the series of Throne of Glass, and these are the colours that I chose, and I love this one. To be fair, it was my first kind of colour changing granny square that I've ever done, and I love it. I love it. I think it's so pretty. And I decided that with all of the books, like all the squares that I'm going to do like a border in like a cream colour, so that there's kind of like a continuity with all of them, so that they will all have one colour in common. So yeah, this is book 1 and completed as square 1. I'm not going to kind of like dive too much into the book itself. Like I said, it is like the last book in a series, and if you've not read Kingdom of Ash and you've not read Throne of Glass, I don't want to ruin it too much, but I will say it's definitely a 5-star like series. It's well worth reading. It's fantasy with a little bit of romance, not a huge amount, but yeah, here is square 1. So square 2 is this one here. So this is the square that I made for a book called Riding the Storm by Kirsty Bryan. It's an indie published book. It's the first of her series, and I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. It's like a cowboy / bookstagrammer romance. Young woman, she moves from London to Montana to set up a little indie bookstore, and she's living in this little cottage that's kind of owned by this guy's family, and basically they kind of, I suppose, fall for each other as they would do in any romance. And it's just the story along the way is just so lovely and it's so nice, all about like healing and kind of coming together and like love of books and things. But yeah, this is the square that I created for this one, and again I really love all the colours. It's really pastel and I'm really happy with how that one has turned out as well. To be fair, I'm not sure I'd have any squares that I've created that I dislike. So book 3 and square 3 is this one here. So this is the square that I created for Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I adore Elsie Silver. Her books are just small town romance. They all intermingle. If you haven't heard of Elsie Silver, where have you been? So I'm currently reading her like first series, which is the Gold Rush Ranch series. I am currently on book 3, technically it's book 3, which is called, I've got it right next to me, The Front Runner, and it's so far it's a really good series. And so this is book 1 in that series. Again, I give a lot of books 5 stars. So I love all the colours that I used. It's a very like blue heavy kind of cover. There's a tiny little bit of green, but yeah, I'm really happy with that square. And square 4, so this is my 4th completed square, is I still need to weave in all of the ends. My plan is to kind of weave all the ends in as I go. I just didn't do it with this one. So with this square, this is for, it's Out of the Gate, which is a novella. So it's Off to the Races, then it's Out of the Gate, which is like a little novella, and it's about the main character, one of the main characters, like granddad and his nan, how they met and how they set up Gold Rush Ranch. So these are the colours that I chose. I don't have the physical book for this. It was, the novella was printed in the back of Off to the Races, but online you can find what the actual book cover would look like. This is kind of like a black, you see that bit, well, it's black, and then it kind of pans out into a slightly darker, like maroon colour. I think this was the only one that I was a little bit unhappy with. I was like, why did I choose to put black in the middle? Because even though it's not it doesn't cover much of the space, it's where the eye gets drawn. But I suppose it's quite a nice colour combination. Like I said, I've got to weave in all of those ends at some point, get that all done. That'll be one of my next things. So the book that we are going to be crocheting the cover for today is a photo finish. So that is the 2nd book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. Again, it was another really good read, 5 stars I gave it. Yeah, so that is what we're going to be doing. I've got all of the yarn that I've picked out for this book cover, and I'm doing all of the squares that I'm doing all of them in a 4mm hook. It doesn't matter what yarn weight I'm using. So I have got like I think an Aran weight, and there might be some like 4-ply like knocking about, but everything is going to be done with a 4mm hook, so it all kind of has like the same size in the end. So the cover has a lot of like orange and yellows in it, with a little bit of blue, and kind of like a cream, a tiny little bit brown. So there's the kind of like the colours that I have chosen for this granny square. So the first colour that we're going to be using, so this one I think is going to go in the middle. This is kind of like an orangey ochre kind of colour. So this is going to be the first, I suppose, ring, and then it's going to kind of progressively go slightly like lighter yellow, and then I'm going to go in with my blue, brown, and then cream at the very end. So this is colour number 1. Colour number 2 is this, it's slightly brighter but still quite a mustardy yellow, so that will be next to this one. And then the other yellow that I've got is this kind of like golden, like buttercup kind of yellow, really pretty. So I'm putting all 3 of those kind of like side by side, I suppose. And then after that I have got I think I'm going to go, I was toying between putting the navy next, so put the navy next along with the blue, like a lighter blue, and then I've got this brown and then cream that is going to be kind of like our colour lineup as it is. Let's get that all. So that's the kind of like colour lineup that we're going to go for. So yeah, that is what we're going to be doing for the rest of the video. I'm just going to sit, pop on a little bit of YouTube, I think, and we're going to do this little square and like let's see where we end up. I've got a nice cup of tea and a donut as well, It's been a little busy morning. Every Monday morning's busy for me. So yeah, let's get on and crochet book number 5. Book number 5's cover. What do you think? So this is our completed granny square for a photo finish. I am really happy with like the colour combination actually. I think it turned out really nice. Like I really love like the combination of like this really orange into the blue, and that little bit of brown actually looks really nice. They look like these like old-fashioned mugs that I've seen. If I can find a picture of the mug that I'm kind of talking about, I'll pop it on screen. If not, then whatever. But I am actually really happy with this, how this has turned out. So I can add it to my very small but growing stack. Although I do need to weave in those ends. I might spend like an evening sometime soon and just weave in the ends to those two. Really need the ends sorting out, but I now have 5 completed granny squares I'm currently on my 6th book, which is The Front Runner. This one will be really nice because it's all like greens. It's all like green, teal, a little bit of that yellow colour. There's a lot of black as well, so I might have to really think about where I place the black because I don't want the back to be like the focal point for this one. But we will leave that, and like I said, in 3 months time we'll catch up. We'll have a catch up on like our book blanket. So yeah, let me know in the comments below whether like doing a book blanket is something that you might be thinking about doing, or that you have done in the past, because I just think it's a really fun project. It's quite, each square, I wouldn't say it doesn't take me like forever, but it also takes me, I'd say, like maybe an hour and a half to kind of sit down and just kind of like work my way through like the colours. I'm doing about 7 colours per square, so they're quite big squares, and the reason for that is last year I felt like I didn't read that many books, but so I wanted to make sure that I could kind of like create a big enough blanket that it would be worthwhile making a blanket with them. So yeah. I'm really happy with those. I'm really happy with that colour choice and the combination and everything. I'm just so excited about it. Anyway, so if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a little thumbs up, and maybe sort of like think about hitting the subscribe button and sticking around. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.